Article 1 of Indian Constitution or Article 1 of draft Constitution of the Constituent Assembly. What is difference? First, we'll try to understand exactly what is the content of Article 1. Article 1 of Indian Constitution says India, that is Bharat, is a union of states. Now, there are four important dates which you need to keep in mind while trying to understand the difference between the provisions of draft Article 1 and Article 1 of Indian Constitution. These four dates are 15th and 17th November 1948, and the remaining two dates are 17th and 18th September 1949. So these are two important dates. Now, what happened on 15th November 1948? Constituent Assembly started discussion on Article 1 of draft Constitution, which said India, that is Bharat, where the debate was started on the issue of why it should not be called as Bharat rather than India. So this issue was one of the issues which was discussed on the 15th of November 1948. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the chairman of the drafting committee. He gave clarification on number of topics. Now, here union of states, this was one of the most debatable topic. The members of the Constituent Assembly, they had a confusion why the union of states and not the federation. Here Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the chairman of drafting committee, clarified that being a union of states, the states in India will not have a right to secede away from India, and it was convincing. So everybody was convinced on this. Now, draft Article 1 divided the states into three categories under first schedule, and these three categories were part first state, part second states, and part third states. While if you look at the Constitution of India, Article 1, wherein there were three types of states in 1950 when India adopted and enacted its constitution, and these were A, B, and C category states. While draft Constitution Article 1 first schedule also talked about the union territories under part 4th of the first schedule of Indian Constitution. Now, as far as the Constitution of India is concerned, here Article 1 and the Schedule 1 talks about the Part D type of territories, which later on became Union territories. So, the major difference between the Article 1 of the draft Constitution and Article 1 of the Constitution of India is change in the nature of first schedule of Indian Constitution, wherein the states which were first part, second part, and third part became A, B, and C part states in the Constitution's Article number 1, while part 4th of the first schedule, which defined the union territories or territories of the union, became D type of territories of union under the first article of Indian Constitution. So this is a major difference which was there in the provisions of Article 1 of the draft Constitution which was discussed, debated, and finally drafted and enacted. This one amended and finally accepted by the Constituent Assembly. So on 18th September 1949, finally the Article 1 of the draft Constitution with the required amendments was amended and passed by the Constituent Assembly and became integral part of Indian Constitution, which was finally adopted on 26 November 1949 and enacted on 26 January 1950. That is the Republic Day of India. So this is the difference between Article 1 of the draft constitution and Article 1 of Indian constitution which we have today.